Hello, everyone. Coming up here is the Elimination Chamber. Predict the outcome here. I'm your host, as always, Kendra Dix here. Coming up on Elimination Chamber, we have eight matches, including a no disqualification match where Drew McIntyre takes on Madcap Moss. The Tag Team Championships from SmackDown Online as the Usos defend against the Viking Raiders, as well as a blast from the past as Lita comes out of retirement in a one-on-one match against current Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch. Lita trying to get back her fifth title reign. Can she do so? Only time will tell on that one. Plus two, the match that everyone's been talking about, the mighty Goldberg taking on the Universal Champion Roman Reigns in a match that should have happened at WrestleMania nearly 2 years ago. Now it's going to happen at Elimination Chamber. Predict for Elimination Chamber. And plus, we have more breaking news as The Undertaker has been inducted. He is going into the WWE Hall of Fame, well deserved by The Undertaker. The Undertaker deserved this momentum and stuff. So let's not waste no time whatsoever. Let's start with Predict the Outcome. And Predict the Outcome starts right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Predict the Outcome for WWE Elimination Chamber. I'm your host, as always, Kendra Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Our special, no SmackDown Ring Report, only Predict the Outcome for Elimination Chamber and hot topics, the hot topic news that have been going around the world throughout this week. Man, but first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling Show here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show as we get to Predict the Outcome for WWE Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber comes your way from Saudi Arabia in the Jelly Dome. I guess they had to go get some extra money, and you know why? For record-setting profits. But we're gonna show you that the 8 matches, including 4 championship matches, including 3 world title matches as well. 2 legends coming out of retirement to see if they have what it takes to come out of retirement. We know Goldberg wants a shot at the Universal Championship, and we know that the mighty Lita coming out of retirement, she wants to be women's champion once again. A whole bunch of stuff, but let's get started with a grudge match. We know that Drew McIntyre came back at the Royal Rumble. Drew McIntyre came back. We thought Drew was done. Drew came back after he had a match against Madcap Moss earlier this year during day 1. And you know, day 1 was the WWE's signature event. They wanted to start day 1 with a bang. And so now Drew McIntyre looking for revenge. Drew McIntyre said last week on SmackDown that he's coming for Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin to put them both in their place. We know Drew wants to send a message to Happy Corbin, and Drew wants to do what he has to do to get the job done in one way or another. So this is Drew's opportunity to go against Madcap Moss once again, to take on Madcap and put Madcap and shut Madcap up so that he can have his moment against Happy Corbin. Now, we know yesterday on SmackDown, Drew McIntyre came out there to deliver his final message to Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. Drew wanted to let them know about with his sword or something. Drew let the Frightful 2 know, but they was laughing it off like they'll do it again. So Drew trying to send a message that he's going to outlast and defeat Madcap Moss in a match. And he's going to head to WrestleMania with momentum. So with this match, you have to know that Drew McIntyre is the favorite to win. So I look at Drew McIntyre will win this match over Happy over Madcap Moss, and he will be one step closer to getting his hands on Madcap, on Happy Corbin, and putting him to sleep. And he probably do so at WrestleMania with him. So look for that going forward. But look at the winner. I predict the winner will be Drew McIntyre over Madcap Moss at WrestleMania. All right. Speaking of matches and stuff that more people want to see, we know that Ronda Rousey has came back. Ronda Rousey came back and returned to Royal Rumble as well. Ronda Rousey now has her sights set on trying to go against Charlotte Flair. We know these two will meet at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's Championship. But beforehand, Charlotte was in contention to go against Naomi last week. Naomi gave her the fight of her life, and Naomi was close to winning the SmackDown Women's title, but she lost. But Sonya Deville tried to rub it in her face with Naomi, and Naomi and Sonya have their problems, as well as Ronda and Charlotte. So he's gonna boil down to these four women competing in a tag team match on the Elimination Chamber. I mean, this is the match everybody wanted to see. We know Naomi want to get her hands on Sonya. It's like a Stone Cold Steve Austin / Miss McMahon feud. And Ronda and Charlotte, that's a WrestleMania main event that's going to bound to happen. So we know that there's a lot of combustible elements in these match between these four ladies. Ronda even broke Sonya's arm, and Ronda looking to get her hands on Naomi. Ronda looking forward to get her hands on Charlotte some way somehow. Yesterday was indeed the contract signing between, and it just went haywire. The contract signing between Ronda Rousey and the contract signing between the tag team match, Ronda Rousey and Naomi team up against Charlotte, and Sonya Deville. The match, it was just, you can tell right there, you could cut it with a knife. It just went up right. It did, because in a contract signing in WWE doesn't go as planned as it should. So these four women want to get their hands on each other. Let them get their hands on each other. This is one of the three women matches that's going to happen at Elimination Chamber between these women. And I predict, you got to leave the crowd happy, Naomi and Ronda Rousey will defeat the team of Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville. Now, if it was in U.S. soil, it would be different. I would say Charlotte and Naomi. But since it's in a different soil, it's going to be Ronda versus Naomi winning the match for the team. And we know Charlotte and Ronda will meet at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And I could vouch and say this is going to be the main event right here. These Charlotte and Ronda going to be the main event at WrestleMania. I tell you that right now, it's going to be that. Also, too, the SmackDown Tag Team Championship is on the line as the Usos defend the SmackDown Tag Team titles against the Viking Raiders. We know the Usos and the Viking Raiders have been on each other's throats. But we know yesterday on SmackDown, Jay went against Ivar in a good fist-pounding match. The Usos tried to capitalize. The Usos were gaining momentum with the Bloodline in that corner. But the Usos is a crafty tag team. So, like I said, look for the like I said, it's a lot of things going on. So I say the Usos are going to retain their SmackDown Tag Team Championship, and they're going to keep the SmackDown Tag Team titles intact. I don't know who they go against from here. I mean, is Los Lotharios next in line or what? I don't know how you're going to do that. And the Usos going to turn babyface or what? You got to wonder about that. Like, Or just do they give it to the Viking Raiders? But I see the Usos winning the tag team titles over the Viking Raiders. So look for that. All right. Um, we're gonna take we're gonna come back to we're gonna come back to predict the outcome. That's gonna be the second half of predict the outcome. And like I said, the Usos are gonna win. Let's get to hot topics. On hot topics this week, we can talk about right now. The man, the myth, the legend, the Undertaker. The Undertaker right here. It says to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. The Undertaker going into the class of 2022. Yes, the Undertaker has done it. The Undertaker, a legend among legends, and now the Undertaker now enshrined himself into the WWE Hall of Fame. And what a moment it will be. I mean, if somebody would, I knew the Undertaker was going to the WWE Hall of Fame. I just didn't know how long and how far he would go. But the Undertaker deserved this recognition, deserves this honor. The Undertaker doing something big and something powerful. The Undertaker started his career in Texas, moved his way to the NWA/WCW, and then he moved his way to the WWE and became the greatest character in the company's history, playing that role and perfecting that role. The Undertaker won numerous world titles, tag titles, you name it. Specials about him. So the Undertaker legend will live on in the Hall of Fame. And some people saying he should deserve a class amongst himself. But he's going to be the headlining class. So kudos to the Undertaker of becoming the latest addition into the WWE Hall of Fame. Speaking of that, we saw that the Wrestling Observer has named their awards. They gave Tony Khan Best Booker and Best Promoter of the Year. I guess Tony Khan needs some good press this week because this week it's been by the end of this week because earlier this week Cody left, so he needs that press. Also, to Kenny Omega, MJF, Jay Cargill, a list. AEW racked up a lot of awards for the Wrestling Observer. Even WWE got the worst of the shows, like worst promotion, worst show, worst tactic. Like this was a lot going on. They got worst tactic for the second year around for the pandemic of firing people. So there's a lot going on with that. So WWE going with that. So hey, they don't care how long they making money. Speaking of WWE, producer Devon Dudley has retired. He'll no longer wrestle no more because he had to have some emergency surgery on his neck. So Devon Dudley won't be wrestling anymore. But Ray won't be telling Devon to go get the tables. Not no more. So Devon Dudley, long he is happy and he's content, that all that matters. And Devon Dudley, yeah, we seen that Devon Dudley with that. So also too, a lot of pictures out. We know that WWE is going to bring back Saturday night's main event as they want to say to Peacock, but they don't know. They're not for sure. They're like for a touring event. I don't know how they're going to do that, but they're talking about if they're going to bring it back for one night. It's going to probably be in Montgomery, Alabama. Well, that's the cheapest way to go if you want to go to Montgomery. Hey, they get Saturday night main event on the house. It's a live event, but they don't know yet if it's going to be a premium event. But wait and see. So, but also to Sami Zayn yesterday won the Intercontinental Championship. That was kind of controversial. WWE made the spoilers that Sammy won. There's been talks that Sami Zayn could be defending the Intercontinental Championship against Johnny Knoxville. I know in reality that can probably happen, but I don't want Knoxville to win the title because Knoxville is just a part-time person and he's not going to be able to defend that championship like he should. So hopefully Sammy finds a way to win in some way, some fashion. Like Knoxville can win, but Sami Zayn keeps his title, like the disqualification or something. Knoxville just couldn't win the title. Something like that to end that program. Because I know they want to do that. They want Knoxville to win over Sammy, but not with the championship intact. So I want them to like say, hey, Knoxville wins, but he doesn't win the Intercontinental title because I don't. It's just gonna make no sense. It's gonna not be possible. Also, to NXT debut Level Up, Level Up. They replaced 205 Live. WWE didn't make no announcement about it. They just started with Level Up, replacing 205 Live. So Level Up will be the show where you'll see the stars of tomorrow either go Raw or SmackDown, and these are the matches that's going to be featured on Level Up this week. Plus, too, we see that some of the superstars are in Saudi Arabia. Rhea Ripley wearing a suit. This is like a Instagram thing or what. And then you see Bianca Belair, Sonya Deville, and Liv Morgan all gearing up for tomorrow's event on live on the Peacock network, live on the WWE network on Peacock. So it was a lot. Also, too, MLW star Davey Richards on the show is like Instagram. We want to be more like across the board with all the wrestlers. Went WWE, MLW, Impact, whoever's doing something unique and different. You know, we're gonna start doing superstar picks. So Davey Richards, well, I believe like the Chris Benoit, he's a tough wrestler, tough technical wrestler. He's picking up where Benoit left off. Unfortunately, when Benoit had passed away, we did what he did, but I don't condone what Benoit did. But Benoit was a great wrestler, but you know, Benoit had to pay for his sins down the road eventually. All right, that ends hot topics. Let's move back. To let's move back to predict the outcome. On predict the outcome, we're gonna kick off with the second half. Predict the outcome with the Raw Women's Championship match. This match right here is a lot. Becky Lynch defends her Raw Women's Championship against the legendary Lita. Well, we know that Becky Lynch has allowed her play. She's going to be waiting to see who's going to face her or how this ever going to go. We know Lita came out after the Royal Rumble because Lita was in the Royal Rumble, tried to taunt Charlotte Flair like she wanted to go at Charlotte, but she decided to pick her fight against Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion. Well, Becky was kind of a little bit flattered at the time. Becky didn't know what to think, and she thought Lita was playing a game or playing some silly, but Lita was serious. Lita wanted a shot at Becky Lynch's Raw Women's Championship, and Lita did what Lita exactly do. Lita attacked and hit the twist of fate on Becky Lynch and took Becky Lynch out. And we know Becky Lynch this week, she was a little bit pissed off and said, "Oh, excuse me," and saying that Lita did what she did was wrong. So my question is, can we see this again? Lita becoming a 5-time women's champion on Raw? Only just the possibilities are endless, but at the same time, I can't see it. Lita tried to get in Becky's head, and Becky Lynch came out disheveled this week when during the contract signing. So it's a lot going on. I feel like Lita said it herself. Lita said she was asked to do the match and be done with it, but I just you know how that go. But I see Becky Lynch remain the Raw Women's Champion, and Becky Lynch will go on to find out who's going to challenge her for her Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. So look for Becky Lynch to retain her Raw Women's Championship over Lita. Tough question about that. Speaking of another match on Raw, well, we know Rey Mysterio, the living legend who is on the game of two on the front cover of 2K22. Rey Mysterio takes on the A-lister and former WWE champion like Mysterio, The Miz. Now we know Miz is trying to um put a wedge in between Ray and his son, saying, "Why is your son taller than you?" and cause a wedge between Ray and his son, and making Ray and his son believe that your dad is not what he claims to be, and if you want to get with a winner, you need to get with me. And Miz did have a match against Dominic. Dominic came a little bit short, and I mean came a little bit short. Like he was trying to win, but Dominic came a little bit shorter than he thought when Miz's wife Maurice got involved and helped her husband out. But I think yeah, Dominic rolled Miz up and stuff, leaving Miz out. So look for the mighty Rey Mysterio to win the match over well, I don't think so. Look for the Miz to win. I see the Miz winning, cheating his way to win over Ray. Ray probably gets revenge somewhere down the road against Miz. So look for Miz to defeat Ray once again. And Miz and Ray continue on their feud, because I think Miz gonna try to put a wedge between Ray and Dominic. I can see that right now. So look for Miz to win that match. Also, the women's match, where we see a lot of the women from. Also, we know that Becky Lynch will be awaiting to see who's going to challenge her for her Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. We know that a lot of women, and I mean a lot of women, are competing in the Women's Elimination Chamber match. Like I said, the Women's Elimination Chamber match, like I said, Becky Lynch waiting to see who's going to meet her at WrestleMania for the let me see if we can pull it up right quick. You know, Becky Lynch is waiting. Becky Lynch, the man, she's waiting. The man is waiting. Yeah, the man is waiting indeed. Well, here's the graphic. So we know that Becky Lynch will be one of these 6 women will challenge Becky Lynch at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. We know we know 3 women. Well, we know Doudrop challenged her at Royal Rumble. We know Liv challenged her at at day 1. We know Bianca and Becky with their history at SummerSlam. We know that Rhea Ripley won a shot at the Women's Championship. She was the Iron Woman this past week on Raw when she went through the gauntlet to take on all the women. Now we know Alexa Bliss was the mystery woman. She's going to enter the chamber as the 6th and final person. Alexa Bliss got some axes to grind. And then, too, Alexa Bliss has history in Elimination Chamber. She was the first woman to win the Elimination Chamber match and defend her Raw Women's Championship in the chamber. So it's a lot of history. So these women are trying to jock into position to get a shot at Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship at at WrestleMania. We know that Bianca Belair won a shot. We know all of them want a shot. But who's gonna emerge victorious? This woman right here, Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair had a WrestleMania moment last year, and she might repeat again. So look for Bianca Belair to win the Women's Elimination Chamber match and go on to face Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship one more time and get her revenge like what had happened at SummerSlam. So look for that heading forward. And I can probably see Rhea Ripley in the match too. I would say Bianca, but look for if Rhea Ripley win, I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked. But look for Bianca Belair to emerge victorious and get her shot at the Raw Women's Championship against Becky Lynch down the road. Also, too, like I said, Elimination Chamber will be on Peacock. So don't miss Elimination Chamber on Peacock. Peacock indeed. So the match that everyone's been, the two matches, the two World Championship matches. We'll start with Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has been on the road as of late. He took out Seth Rollins at Royal Rumble, but another challenger emerges. The mighty Goldberg. Goldberg comes out and calls out Roman. These two behemoths, these two heavyweights, Roman and Goldberg, is a match of nutrition. Now we know Roman Reigns will have his match against Brock Lesnar. We'll talk about it later on the next matchup, what Brock Lesnar's involvement in the Elimination Chamber and what that's all entailing. But we know that Goldberg versus Roman Reigns is the match that everybody wanted to see. This match right here should have happened at WrestleMania 2 years ago, but now it's going to happen at Elimination Chamber. So, like I said, these two men, spear versus spear, the only moves that they got something in common with. But let's look at the tail of the tape right here. This is the tail of the tape of what's going on. Both of them are equally in height-wise. Roman is 6'3", Goldberg is 6'4". Both of them nearly in the same weight class. Roman's 265 pounds, is Goldberg 285 pounds. Both signature moves. Roman with the guillotine, Goldberg with the spear, but both in common have this. The jackhammer. Both in common have the spear. Roman has a fast and furious spear, where Goldberg has a hard, tough nose spear. Both men right here with their accomplishment. Roman, the longest reigning Universal Champion, a 6-time World Champion, a Royal Rumble winner. Goldberg, a Hall of Famer, 5-time World Champion. He had the winning 7-0 win streak to start his career in World Championship Wrestling. These two men bring a lot of accomplishment, a lot of achievements to each other. One of them has to lose. Even Roman main evented 5 WrestleManias. It's Goldberg main evented Starrcade, equivalent to WCW's version of WrestleMania. So this is a match built on nutrition, and you have to wonder who's going to have the odds of leaving. Ain't no question. Roman is younger. He's faster. He showed that at Royal Rumble how vicious and how violent he can be. So, like I said, Goldberg, this is his last hoorah. And what a way for Goldberg to leave his last hoorah doing what he loves doing. But I can't see Goldberg winning this match. I believe that Universal Champion Roman Reigns will retain his Universal Championship. Roman Reigns will head to WrestleMania to meet Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. These two men, it's been a counter that a lot of people have been talking about for weeks, for months. This whole thing got started when Paul Heyman screwed Brock Lesnar out of the championship and cost Brock Lesnar the championship at Royal Rumble to give to Hank, to give the Roman to hit Brock with it. So it's a lot of bad blood. But like I said, Goldberg gonna put up a fight, but at the end, Roman Reigns will remain Universal Champion heading into WrestleMania in Dallas as the title holder. All right. And finally, the match that everyone has been participating. We know that the chamber match, and I mean what a chamber match is going to be. The WWE Championship is on the line in the chamber. If we can find the pitch, the WWE Championship is on the line as well. Well, bear with us. Yeah, we'll use it. The WWE Championship is on the line. As you see these men, we got some of the women on the posters. We're gonna give you a good shot, a good view of the championship match. Again, we're trying to find it. We want to give you a good shot of it because all right. So this is the two chamber matches participants in these two, but we're talking about the main event right here. The main event right here, I believe, will be the main event of Elimination Chamber. As you see, Bobby Lashley, the WWE champion, the newly won WWE champion, gets his first title defense in the chamber when he takes on former champion Brock Lesnar, another former champion Seth Rollins, another former champion AJ Styles, stars of tomorrow in the future, Austin Theory and Riddle. Now we know that these 6 men, the only people that have experience in the chamber matches is AJ and Seth Rollins. Now we know that the chamber matches will take a toll on you, the sadistic of it, the demonic structure. But Bobby Lashley, looking forward, he's all smiles and stuff when he won the championship back at Royal Rumble, becoming a 2-time champion. But Bobby Lashley has a challenge on his hands after the beast incarnate Brock Lesnar came, and Brock Lesnar wants a title match some way, somehow. Brock Lesnar knows how to get himself in a championship match. And Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley have unfinished business. As you see right here, Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley will both be in the chamber. We thought Royal Rumble, when they both met for the first time, was an instant classic. I think it's going to be a trilogy of matches between them two. But who knows? I want to see it. I want to see it again. Just face-to-face one-on-one. But Brock going to handle his business with Roman. But Bobby Lashley on cloud 9, as you can see right here with the championship. But he has other challengers as well, like AJ Styles, who looking to get a shot. Austin Theory coming on the verge of him being endorsed a little bit, like being the chosen one, like how Drew McIntyre was with Mr. McMahon, being the next in line to become a future champion. Riddle getting a shot as well. So it's a lot of variables in this match that a lot of people are talking about in this championship match. And it was kind of tough and hard. Like, who's going to emerge victorious? You know, it's tough to look at it and think who's going to do it. I wanted to say Brock, but I can't see a title for title. Brock would want a title for title, but it would be good. But then again, it kind of kills off another championship match that deserves another shine. So, my opinion, Bobby Lashley will win the WWE Championship, will retain his WWE Championship in the Elimination Chamber and go on WrestleMania and maybe fight Seth Rollins or AJ Styles. Are they saying AJ Styles might go against Edge? Who knows? But I can see him against Seth Rollins. That's the only thing I can see him with in a big match. So Look for that. So because Roman's gonna call, I believe Roman Reigns gonna do the same thing like he did at Royal Rumble. He's gonna cost Brock Lesnar the championship, and Bobby Lashley will get away scot-free once again as WWE champion. All right. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents Predict the Outcome special. We're going to be watching just like you watching the Elimination Chamber on WWE Network on Peacock. So for me being Kendrick Dix, we're going to leave you with Bobby Lashley leaving, hopefully victorious, as still WWE champion. I've been your host, Kendrick Dix, saying so long, and we'll see you down the road. Happy wrestling.